Hello, and welcome to the very first edition of Half Hour Wrestling. That is one dash or fucking slash 2 hour wrestling. No, 1/2 hour wrestling, which is a half hour wrestling for those of you who can't tell time. If my shirt is dirty or whatever, sorry, but this is the only white shirt I had, and it was in the fucking hamper, so yeah. On this half hour wrestling, we discuss 5 different topics. We discuss the WWE Raw, what to expect this upcoming Monday, the Dean Ambrose status with the WWE, CM Punk and his WWE 2K15, problems, USW Top Rope 2014 expectations, and the Rush situation with USW. But first, let me introduce myself. I'm Zach Hardy, and, I'm Zach Hardy, 5-time USW champion, current reigning USW champion as of right now, and, at the end of the show, we will have a question. Leave in the comments below your response, and, for the next half hour, we'll be doing this, thing, I guess you can call it, and we'll be discussing wrestling-related topics. If we so happen to get through the half hour quickly, then I'll try to talk about something, impromptu or whatever. But we'll just see how it goes. And, since this is the first edition, we're going to call it episode 1. I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing this, but, just a few announcements right now, as I came up with this today. That's not the sheet. Sorry, I do not come prepared when it comes to this. Alright, on this channel, we're trying, for the month of September, from September 22nd to October 12th of 2014, the channel is going to try to have a video uploaded daily. The schedule we're going to have is, on Mondays we'll have the Raw review, Tuesdays we'll have the USW topic video, Wednesdays we'll have an intensity review, Thursdays we'll have a USW topic video, Fridays we'll have a pay-per-view preview / weeks 2 video. So if Night of Champions, let's say, we're 2 weeks away, we would count down the time to Night of Champions and see how we would adjust. And Sunday would be the Raw preview. Saturday would also be a question and answer with Chase Clover. And Sunday would be a Raw review. That's what our solid schedule is. Those are like the confirmed things. I'm not sure if this will be confirmed. Tell me also in the comments below if you want to see this, keep going on. But for now, let's just, let's see how it goes. And this will start this upcoming Monday. So the Raw review will be put out this Monday, and that'll be the start of what we'll find out if it will be a good schedule, or if we'll go back to our regular formatting that we have for a few days left now, which is, a video at least once a week. So, without further ado, I'm sorry, my bad, and, the occasional video schedule that, the videos that we may post out every so often, possibly. Mondays is the pay-per-view review, if we don't do it on Sundays. I know Chase doesn't necessarily do pay-per-view reviews until the day after, at least, or, well, at most of the time, at least until the day after, which would be the Monday, and I put out the review the same night, just because I don't want to forget about anything about, whatever. Tuesdays would be the Raw review. Also, the pay-per-view review would be pretty much monthly. The Raw review would possibly be weekly if it happens on a Tuesday, so if I can't do it on a Monday, it'll be uploaded on Tuesday. And more than likely will continue to be uploaded on Tuesday, but I will film it on Monday, and it'll be up early Tuesday morning, hopefully. Nothing on Wednesdays. Thursdays, an Impact review if, whatever, every so often, until it goes off. Until it goes off the air in fucking October. And I'm not sure if I really want to do Impact reviews, so I might not do them, but we'll find out. Friday's a SmackDown review. Saturday's a SmackDown review. Either two of those days would possibly have a, that face was weird. Would it possibly have a SmackDown review? And, Sundays would be a pay-per-view preview / review. And pay-per-view reviews and previews can be any day of the week, so I could put out a Night of Champions, preview today. Chase could put out a USW pay-per-view preview the day before it goes on, the same morning, but film it the day before. He'll put out a review the night after, but film it right after the show ends. He does a bunch of crazy shit, and I do that as well, because I'm kind of busy, so I don't really have the time to upload a bunch of crap, often. So I got Chase to help me out with that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. He already sent me an email of the list of topics that he wanted to talk about, and there are 14 weeks worth of topics. One of which I believe he will get to today, so we'll find out what happens with that. I'm pretty sure I'm going to do a SmackDown review or whatever today as well, so it's going to be a bit of a long day today. But anyway, let's get into the first edition of Half Hour Wrestling. So up first to talk about is WWE Raw and what to expect. For the past 4 weeks, Raw has not been good. It does not seem like the WWE has been really making any attempt to improve Raw. It's kind of like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but since the network was announced, Raw has been a lot more annoying. You have the commentators constantly saying $9.99, and now that I realize my voice is kind of iffy a little bit, I have been talking for a while today, and it makes it even worse now that the fucking microphone is broken. So if my voice is either high-pitched or it's too low or if it's too, scratchy, I apologize. So, hearing the commentators say $9.99 so many times in one night, it just gets annoying. It gets annoying to the point where you just want to mute Raw or turn it off because you don't want to hear $9.99. And it's sad that people with the network have to put up with this shit. And I mean, I don't have the network. I'm probably going to stream Night of Champions this Sunday for free. So, I might have an actual review instead of a reaction video. But I don't know. I mean, Raw has been going down when it comes to interest, since the network was announced. I mean, I know during, WrestleMania season and a little while after Daniel Bryan became the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, I know at that point Raw was starting to pick up again, and then it just kept going downhill, and it's only gotten to the point where 4 weeks ago it started being pretty bad and kept going, and the next Raw comes out in, I believe, 3 or 4 days from now. So as of right now, the past 4 weeks have been awful when it comes to Raw. So I mean, I don't know what to expect, actually, because it's hard to expect something from Raw, especially, I mean, even with any wrestling event, especially after a pay-per-view, because you never know what the outcome is going to be. I mean, you would hope that Brock Lesnar would defeat John Cena, but then again, John Cena could defeat Brock Lesnar, and that's where your preview prediction video comes out, and then it's a whole mishmash of crap. So, I mean, I'm going to try to expect what I can from Raw, and my expectations, let's see. Well, I think Dean Ambrose will come back at Night of Champions, and this is a spoiler alert for my preview and prediction video. I think Dean Ambrose is going to come back at Night of Champions and restart his feud with Seth Rollins, so we're going to get a little bit of a, well, I shouldn't even say a little bit, we're going to get a big crowd pop when Dean Ambrose comes back. Roman Reigns will probably do his own thing. If not, then he'll be added to the mix, and it'll be a Shield versus Shield, match. In the future, I don't know. I don't know what to expect, because the past 4 weeks I've expected something to change, and it hasn't changed, so I'm getting tired of expecting something that could go wrong or would be incorrect. So, who's to say that this upcoming Raw will be any better than it was the past 4 weeks? I mean, it was a pretty lackluster go-home show to Night of Champions this past Monday night. So, I don't know what to expect. I know Bellas are probably going to be on Raw, which is going to make it a lot worse. Brock Lesnar may have a spot on Raw. I think John Cena may have a spot on Raw. Yippee fucking yippee. That's all I really have. So, don't get your hopes too high up for Raw this Monday, because you never know. It could turn out well, it might not turn out well. So, you just have to wait and see. Sometimes it sucks having to wait. But sometimes you gotta wait and see and find out what happens and what unfolds, and maybe they may be doing this for a reason. I doubt it, but before I get a little bit too off topic, I'm going to end my little shoot there on Raw right there. So now we will pick up with a little bit of a segue from Raw and what to expect. The Dean Ambrose status. Considering Dean Ambrose left about 4 or 5 weeks ago, the past 4 Raws have been bad. So, if the Raw on Monday happens to be good, if Dean Ambrose were to come back, and then the week after we're good, and the week after we're good, then maybe that's a sign that Dean Ambrose may be the answer to the WWE's rating system. I mean, he plays a big part in it, as of now, and even as he's off camera. I mean, hell, CM Punk isn't even in the WWE anymore, and he still has a big part to do in Raw, and SmackDown, and Main Event, and Superstars, and NXT, for crying out loud, and pay-per-views. So, who's to say Dean Ambrose isn't the reason why the ratings have skyrocketed? I mean, Dean Ambrose can't be the only guy that helps Raw stay this way. You still have Paul Heyman, who's pretty good on the mic. Holy shit. I think that's all we have. Seems like since Daniel Bryan, Bad News Barrett, and Dean Ambrose left the show because of injury, and movie pilot or movie filming thing, it seems like Raw has been bad ever since those 3 left. Huh. Now that makes me wonder, what would happen if Daniel Bryan were to come back? I know that they're talking about him coming back at Survivor Series. I still have not heard any word on Bad News Barrett, but I've heard about Dean Ambrose coming back in Night of Champions, and I personally think that it's going to happen. He's going to come back in Night of Champions. But what happens if Raw is good for the next few weeks after Dean Ambrose comes back and Dean Ambrose stays? Does that raise question would that raise question in your mind as to, is Dean Ambrose the answer to the WWE's ratings problem? Because he is a fan favorite, and he is someone that the crowd would love to see. Now, since Daniel Bryan and Bad News Barrett left, he was the only guy left that the fans actually really, really liked. And now they've been gone, so Vince McMahon is trying to push other people in place of them to get people to like them and keep keep their ratings up, even though those main three are gone. So I chose a bad day to do this video. Well, we'll just have to see if Dean Ambrose comes back this Sunday, which I think he will. We'll find out if he comes back this Sunday. We'll find out if he ends up being on Raw the next night, and if the crowd enjoys the show, and reviewers like the show, people like the show, and the ratings go up. Then at that point, I would think Dean Ambrose would be one of the main focal points that the WWE would need to focus on to get a better ratings push. You can't do it on your own, WWE. You can't. You just can't. Dean Ambrose, now that Daniel Bryan and Bad News Bear are out for at least a few more months, you need to focus on Dean Ambrose, and you've got to push him quite a bit, because he's the reason why your ratings are up. Don't push him to the World Heavyweight title scene or the WWE title scene, because then Daniel Bryan's going to come back. He's going to get a spot in the WWE title scene. Daniel Bryan will win the WWE title, and then in that case, Dean Ambrose would then be booed by the fans because Daniel Bryan is the champion. And Dean Ambrose would be standing in Daniel Bryan's way. So don't put him in the WWE title picture just yet, but focus on him. Give him TV time. Develop his character way more than it already is, and his character right now is awesome. So keep with the momentum, WWE. Never mind, I'm not even going to say momentum, because they don't have momentum. I will say, make sure that you do whatever is in your power to get the fans to like Dean Ambrose, without the consequence of them either not liking Dean Ambrose or Dean Ambrose becoming irrelevant. So don't put him in the WWE title picture just yet. Put him in a feud with Seth Rollins. Put him in a feud with the Authority. Have him go on against the Authority, one on however many. Do his crazy lunatic shit, like kidnap Stephanie and drive off with her or something like that. Torture Triple H. That kind of crap. It's something that Dean Ambrose's character would do. The fans would like Dean Ambrose for, and be interested in your product. So, again, before I ramble on, gonna get off that topic. Now the third topic we have for today, the CM Punk and the WWE 2K15 problem, I guess. Now, it was reported that WWE 2K15 had this story mode or this game mode, and one of the points in that game mode focused on CM Punk and John Cena's rivalry for the WWE title back in 2011, I believe. And CM Punk was not under contract with the WWE. Now, when I put this video out about their problems, and right now I have two. I haven't responded to one yet, but I will respond to yours. When you have the WWE, and if there was a performer leaving the WWE, like Jeff Hardy, for instance, you knew I was going to bring him up. He left in 2009. SmackDown vs. Raw 2010 came out after he had left the WWE. Now, when he left the WWE, he had to sign this waiver or slip or whatever, even though the WWE thought he was coming back. He was just taking time to heal up. They wanted to make sure, because whenever somebody takes a leave of absence, they make them, sign a contract or whatever. So Jeff Hardy signed that contract and was able to be put into the video game, and access was given by Jeff Hardy to put him in the video game in 2010. CM Punk, on the other hand, left without saying a word to any producers, any of the creative teams, without telling Vince McMahon, until he came and he said, "I'm packing my bag, I'm going home." They didn't even have enough time to fill out a waiver and get it stamped or whatever. They couldn't do it. So CM Punk left, his contract was expiring. when it expired, WWE 2K15 already had him planned in the game and didn't have the right to have him in the game. And even if CM Punk had signed even if CM Punk had the waivers given to him the same night, I still don't think he would have signed it, because he retired from wrestling because he doesn't really want to be in wrestling's media, I guess. Even though the fans in the WWE stands are not letting him accomplish that, because they're still chanting CM Punk every night. But CM Punk left the WWE because he didn't want to be involved with them. He didn't want to be involved in their storylines or in any of their products. That doesn't just include Raw, SmackDown, and pay-per-views. That includes things like their video games, their online series, their YouTube channels, their DVDs, their interviews, whatever. Their wrestling figures, nothing. He didn't want to be in any of that shit. So I don't think he would have signed anyway, even if he had the waiver put in. So he left without saying anything, and apparently, and I'm not completely sure about this, but I've heard many sources close to the WWE and to 2K Sports mention that CM Punk was planned in the game. He was put in as a playable character. He had in a game mode focused around him and another performer. And when CM Punk found out about this, I'm guessing maybe his lawyer or the attorney or whatever went to the WWE and pretty much flat out told him he's not under contract with you anymore. He never signed anything allowing you to put his likeness in the game. You cannot have him in the game. Take him out, or I guess we'll sue you or something like that. So CM Punk, if he's gonna stay in the game, he's gonna make money. If the WWE doesn't put him out of the game, he's gonna make money. If the WWE takes him out of the game, the game is gonna be taken off. Is not gonna be released, on the date that they want it to be released. So either way, the WWE is fucked in each of those three ways. So was it stupid to put CM Punk in the game without your waiver? Hell yeah. I mean, do you go sign an 11-year-old kid to be a cashier at McDonald's without having them sign some kind of terms and conditions? No. Do you hire a 20-year-old to work at a bar in Connecticut behind the counter? No. You don't. You don't do something without permission. So, I mean, that's just like when you ask your parents to go out to a concert and you sneak out of the house. You didn't get permission to go to the concert, but you still went. It's not right. So, in my opinion, it was stupid of the WWE to put him in the game. I think it was stupid on 2K Sports' part to not realize that he did not give permission to the WWE to put him in the game. Either way, it's the WWE's fault. I know that a lot of people have said that Triple H, had mentioned that there had been, he had, this feeling that, he knew that it was going to fuck up and everything was going to backfire, and he was right. So, that's all I'm going to say. If you're watching this video and you were listening to my CM Punk and WWE 2K15 video, then please know that I don't have all the information. I'm not a close source to the WWE. I'm a source to USW. That's the source I'm towards. Chase is more towards USW, way more towards USW than the WWE. We are not really a WWE channel. We are a USW mainly, but we are going to be putting out WWE videos. But it doesn't mean that we are completely connected to the WWE, and nobody really is completely connected to the WWE. So, all we have is rumors, and the rumor mill is just the only source of wrestling information for wrestling fans, critics, and reviewers. So, without saying any more of that, one more thing. If they're going to take CM Punk out of the game, then people that were going to be on the DLCs, you should put them in as playable characters to make up for that huge, open, gaping wound in the game. Because without CM Punk, the fans want CM Punk in the game, but if the fans don't get what they want, with CM Punk. They're not going to want the game. You got to put, now that you have this gaping hole in the game, and I don't mean the hole in the center of the disc if you don't download your games off Xbox Live and you still go to GameStop. I don't mean that little hole in the middle of that disc. What I mean is there's a hole in the game now that if CM Punk were to be taken out of the game, which will probably happen. More than likely will happen. Well, you know what? I can't even say more than likely, because I'm not sure about what will happen. But you need to have something whereas the fans would want to pay for the game, because they're not going to want to pay for the game when CM Punk's not in there. I mean, he left the WWE in January 2014. It's August 2014. 7 months later, they're still chanting CM Punk on WWE television. Now, moving on. The fourth topic we have are, and this is going to be the one that closes out the show. Well, this organization, I think you know what I'm talking about, is what, the next two topics are going to be focused on this organization. What we're going to close the show out is with USW, and the first topic is the fourth topic is USW Top Rope 2014 expectations. I don't know where my cheat sheet is, but off the top of my head, and this is the first time and probably one of the only times, one of the rare times you'll see me discuss something about USW, and I mean me. Chase will put out shit about that, but I don't necessarily do USW shit on YouTube, so get your camera phones ready. Expectations, alright, Capital will defend the world title against Seth. I'll defend the world title against Derek Carter. The Top Rope match is going to be there. The Titanfall and MC4 for the Extreme title. James and Philip Akron are going to be fighting, and Simon Saint and Tom and Chris Ross. So I believe I named the entire card right there. I mean, I'm not one of those kind of people who brag about a specific thing or try to give free advertisement. USW's website down in the link below, as well as my videos. I think it's to the right here. My videos, to the side, talking about whatever. Shit, that threw me off. I bet the WWE announcers didn't have this throw them off when they were fucking talking about $9.99 all the time. By the way, speaking of $9.99, did you hear about the fucking new $9.99 song that the WWE put out? Bullshit. Fucking waste of resource. I mean, I'm not gonna shamelessly self-promote the pay-per-view, but expect a good match from the Top Rope match. That should be very interesting. Enigma's match should be good as long as my toe heals up. Capital and Seth should be interesting, I guess. Simon Saint and Tom and Chris Ross, that should be an interesting start to a rivalry or storyline or feud or whatever. James and Philip Akron should be interesting, and Titanfall and MC4 should be pretty extreme. That's all I'm going to say about the pay-per-view, because I don't really want to go into detail, because then people will take it for granted and think that I'm just going to say shit and think that I already know ahead of time. So, yeah. And the final part of this, or final topic of this episode 1 of Half Hour Wrestling, is the USW and Rush problem. For those of you who didn't know, and I believe possibly, let me see, he gave me the fucking list. Chase was planning to put out a video talking about this. Tuesday he'll be putting out this video. And this video is going to be featuring why Rush was released from USW. The reason why was because Rush was on medication that was not prescribed to him, and he failed a drug test. And the USW is pretty strict about that. They don't want their performers using drugs, and since it is a very greatly uprising organization, they don't want their reputation to be tarnished and end up dying down. So what they decided to do was release him, because that would only make their vision on him worse. And I've known it for a while. I didn't want to tell Chase because I didn't really want to have this video go up, because then whatever. But now that details have been released, there's no real way to hide it. He was released for failing a drug test, and he was doing well for what he was doing. He was in top place in the Bulletproof series. He had a chance to become the #1 contender for the USW World title or the USW title at Bulletproof 7. He had a lot going for him, and he threw it all away with one bad choice. So, do I think Rush made a bad choice? Hell yeah, I did. Hell yeah, I do. He had a lot of shit going for him that he just ruined. So, do I feel bad for him? Yeah, because his career would have taken off. Possibly could have taken off had he, not done that. And it's gotten to the point where now wrestling independent circuits don't really want him. He's in one specific thing. But, that's just occasional wrestling, like, an occasional UFC fight. I think those only happen, or a boxing match. Those only happen once every few months. That's what he has. It's once every, month or two. So now it's gotten to the point where independent circuits don't even want him. And, I feel bad for the guy. He made a bad choice. I get why USW would release him, because they don't want their record and reputation to be tarnished. But at the same time, you have to really feel kind of upset and a little, you gotta feel bad for him, based on what he was doing and the success that he was having. So, yeah, I guess my concerns go out to him. So, I'm gonna end this half-hour wrestling thing here, because we've gone a little bit over a half hour. Final question. Or the question that I would like you to answer in the comments below. Should Roman Reigns be the WWE Champion by WrestleMania 31 or at WrestleMania 31? In my answer, no. Let him develop a little bit more, and we'll find out who the champion is come WrestleMania season, and then we'll see what you can work out with Roman Reigns. But anyway, leave your answer in the comments below. Should Roman Reigns be the WWE Champion before or at WrestleMania 31? Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. That was my episode 1 of Half Hour Wrestling. My new, podcast, as you would call it, thing going up. So, anyway, guys, remember, please, thank you for watching. Remember, guys, like, favorite, and please subscribe for more. I'm Zach Hardy, signing off.